Hi everyone, it's Leah here and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing so well today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my Crit Mage, which is my DPS mage. I used to be an AMPR mage a year ago, and then I switched over to Crit Mage. Now this mage does have the ability to do damage up to about 4 million on a mini boss called Bulyamas level 239, so I just wanted to share my build with you today. And if you are excited for this video, please hit the like button. And if you are indeed new to my channel, it would mean so much to me if you could go ahead and subscribe. We are 175 Totem strong, and I hope to reach 200 soon, so I'd love to have you in my Totem family. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alrighty, so starting out with my stats, I have 4,976 M attack, 1,403 cast speed, max MP, and my HP is at 12,423. As far as my character build, for stats, I have 249 on int, dex on 126, and I have crit on 255. Starting off with skills, for shot skills, I have 10 on long range damage. This is super important because since you are a mage, you're going to be dealing damage or casting from more than 8 meters away. And I also have sneak attack because you do generate a lot of aggro with finale and you don't want that to get to the tank. As far as magic skills, the most important ones are going to be magic finale on 10, and you want magic impact on 7. You actually don't need that on 10. You want magic mastery on 10, as well as MP charge on 10, and maximizer on 10. And then another additional one, if you have extra skill points, is you definitely are going to want rapid charge, and this is actually going to increase your magic pierce and your magic attack when you do your normal MP charge. So let me demonstrate that right now. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and do my normal MP charge, and then do my maximizer, and as you can see, this little thing in that corner, that is representing rapid charge. If you look at your stats, my stats are now at 5,000, so you can see that it actually does increase your M attack significantly. And for guard skills, I have 10 on Mirage Evasion. As far as support skills go, I have 10 on Brave Aura, and for battle skills, I have 10 on Magic Up, 10 on Concentrate, 10 on Desperate Resist, 10 on Increased Energy, and possibly the most important, 10 on Spell Burst. And then additionally, I have 10 on Attack Up, and then also 10 on Critical Up. And then as far as pre-skills go, the most important one to note is going to be 10 on Prayer, and this will actually raise your M attack for a short amount of time, and this is actually what you use to buff up before you actually cast Finale. And additionally, I have 10 on Royal Heal. This is not necessary, but if I am solo leveling, this is definitely useful. And then for magic blade skills, I have 10 on Resonance, and this obviously only works if you have your magic device as your sub weapon, which I do for my Crit Mage, and this actually helps to buff up again when you're about to cast your Finale. And for those magic blade skills, you're actually going to need to buy a Book of Magic Warrior, which you can find on the board, and as you can see, they're at about 100k, and this will allow you to unlock that skill tree. Then as far as halberd skills, I have 5 on Quick Aura, which again I use to increase my attack speed or my cast speed in this instance. And then I also have 10 on Godspeed Wield, and again this is super important because this actually increases your attack speed, speed evasion, recharge. Alrighty, and next up we have my equipment. As far as equipment goes, I have 6 Ann of Staff plus S, Wonder Flash plus S, Adventurer's Garb, Sorcery Hat plus B, and Machina Ring. As far as stats go, for 6 Ann of plus 6, I have crit damage plus 10%, crit damage plus 21, crit rate plus 23, M attack plus 11%, int plus 4%, and I also have a Kusto and Irastida Krista attached. Now one thing you want to mention is actually for the negative stats, natural MP regen minus 11 and dodge minus 14 is fine, but the thing that you actually want to avoid is magic pierce. So if you see a negative stat that is magic pierce, which is actually very common for most things that actually have crit, most people put magic pierce as a negative, you definitely don't want to buy that for your mage because crit actually needs magic pierce. And for my Wonder Flash, I have it's a water element, plus 21% damage to fire, M attack plus 12%, int plus 10%, and I also have a Kusto and Oculus Signio Krista attached. And for those of you who don't know, Oculus Signio is actually the upgrade Krista for Finstern. And for my Adventurer's Garb, I have M attack plus 10%, critical damage plus 20, critical rate plus 22, critical rate plus 22%, aggro minus 15%, and I also have a Dr. Leonardo Krista and Black Shadow Krista. As far as my additional gear, I use the Sorcery Hat, and it has magic attack plus 6%, physical barrier plus 1000, and aggro minus 15%, and it has a Stellar Ooze Krista and Underwater Runes Monster Krista. And as far as my Machina Ring goes, I have Black Shadow and Venena 2, and the stats are max MP plus 300 and ailment resistance minus 10%. Now, of course, one thing to mention with having your secondary weapon be an MD, obviously it says equipment and Krista abilities of sub-weapon will not work. However, magic device bonuses for attack skills will work if the main weapon is not a staff. However, this instance it is a staff, so this actually is just so that you can use resonance. So actually all of this stuff, so all of the crystals and all of the stats do not actually apply, and they don't contribute to this build. So if you are indeed making this for yourself, you don't need to get obviously a super expensive MD. I just happen to use this because this is my MD that I already have, but of course you can just get a super cheap MD and that also works. Alrighty, so as you can see, Kusto is around 500k, and the stats are magic attack plus 7%, critical rate plus 7, and aggro minus 7%. For Iris Tito, the price is 97k, and the stats are magic attack plus 8%, magic pierce plus 6%, and aggro minus 9%. Oculus Signia, and the stats are as follows: magic attack plus 9%, max MP plus 300, and guard break plus 13%. And the stats for Dr. Leonardo are magic attack plus 2%, long range damage plus 6%, critical rate plus 10%, max HP plus 5000, and ailment resistance plus 5%. And for Black Shadow, the stats are as follows: attack plus 8%, magic attack plus 8%, attack MP recovery plus 3, and for Stellar Ooze, the stats are critical rate plus 20, accuracy plus 60, max MP plus 300, and cast speed plus 600. And for Underwater Ruins monster, the stats are as follows: M attack plus 8%, critical damage plus 8, and max HP plus 1000. And for Veneta 2, the stats are max MP plus 600, attack plus 2%, magic attack plus 2%, and stability plus 3%. Now, I do know that some of you are going to comment in the comments section and say, wow, Leah, those crystals are super expensive, and yes, I agree, they are indeed expensive. The market price has actually been increasing for Underwater Ruins Monster and Stellar Ooze and a couple of the other ones, so yes, they are actually quite expensive now. They, you know, obviously in the past they still were expensive, not as expensive as now, but of course if you can't afford those Kristas, there are always other options, so you obviously can swap them out for other Kristas or for different equipment to meet your budget needs. And also those Kristas are upgrade Kristas, and usually there are at least 3 Kristas in the series of upgrade Kristas, so you can go ahead and look at those lower ones. For example, like Adaro is the next step down from Underwater Ruins Monster, so you can go ahead and take a look at some of those Kristas that are in that line of progression for upgrade Kristas, and those usually are a little bit cheaper, and the stats are very similar. So those are also some other more, budget options for Kristas. And honestly, the same goes for all of my other equipment. I know that all of these are quite expensive, like some of you said in some of my last build videos. And yes, but I just want to go ahead and show you, what I was able to do with my build. So of course there are other options. You don't have to do this exactly. You can do your own budget build. You can do like a 6 and of staff plus S1 slot, or any of these with 1 slot, and then swap them out with different Kristas or different stats to your liking. This is just kind of an example and what I personally do. Alrighty, you guys, next up I'm going to go ahead and show you how to actually use this build, and I will be demonstrating on Bulliamus. And of course, for my food buffs, these are the buffs that I use. So I'm using right now max MP plus 860, max HP plus 4400, attack MP recovery plus 18, and critical rate plus 18. So I definitely recommend trying to find food buffs from your friends that are at least level 8 and above. Level 7 is okay too, and I would definitely focus on MP, HP, attack MP recovery, and crit rate. And for my combos, honestly, they're super simple. I just use Magic Impact to open, and I use Magic Finale on Smite, and then I just have Prayer on Smite because usually I don't have enough MP for that, and it actually just blocks it out, so it's just usually Magic Impact and Magic Finale on Smite. And then my second one is Sneak Attack, and then I use Prayer on Save, Resonance on Swift, and then again I use Magic Finale on Smite at the end. And for Bulliamus, I'm going to go ahead and use my own tank Lula, as well as Shu, and they will be our mercenaries for today. Alrighty, so first things first, you're definitely going to want to go ahead and use Quick Aura a couple of times. Of course, this is good because it's going to help increase your cast speed and attack speed. You're also going to go ahead and want to use Godspeed, so as you can see here, I'm going to use Godspeed 3 times because, as it said in the description, it is stackable for up to 3 times. And then before I even start, I'm going to go ahead and use Resonance, so that's also going to help me. And as you can see there, those are my all of my buffs. Then I'm going to go ahead and buff up with Prayer and also buff up with Brave Aura. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Rapid Charge as well, so MP up to Rapid. So you can see all of these little guys in the corner, those are going to be all of my buffs that I'm going to use, and those are just skill buffs alone. In addition, obviously, I used all of my food buffs. And then as far as actual consumables go, you can go ahead and use Spell Headphones, and that gives you cast speed plus 700 for 30 minutes, so that's a good one to use. And then I would also recommend some Monster Pots, because this actually gives M attack plus 40% and 4% for 30 minutes. So if you use both of these, it is super useful, so stack up all of these buffs. Use Godspeed Wield, use Brave Aura, use Quick Aura, use Resonance, all of these other things, use Prayer, use all of your food buffs. And of course at the top you can see all of my buffs, and if we go ahead and look at my stats, you can see that with all of these buffs, my attack speed is actually at 2,700 and my cast speed is at 3,100. And then for M attack it's at 5,720. If you remember at the beginning, it's actually at 4,900, so I've almost boosted it a full just 1,000 just from all of my food buffs, consumables, and skill buffs. Alrighty here. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate my damage to you guys, and we're going to go ahead and start with Bulliamus now. Now, of course, I'm going to have to wait for the aggro to get on the tanks there, and then we can go ahead and start. So now I'm going to go ahead and do Resonance. Again, Quick Aura, Godspeed Wield. You definitely want to make sure that everything is going throughout the duration of your battle. And here we go. There's my first magic finale. As you can see, I am 12 meters away, which is more than 8 meters, so I should be getting ideal damage. And as you can see, indeed I did, and we can calculate my damage later on. And of course, in between, you definitely want to make sure that you have Godspeed Wield on, and Resonance. And of course, you want to make sure that your Prayer is still going as well, as you can see there. So of course, all of our buffs are going, and now we can go ahead and make sure that we are behind 8 meters, for our long range damage bonuses, and go ahead and attack again. And as you can see, that was not that much that time because Bulliamus actually moved. So again, obviously it is about timing, it's not just about the amount of damage you do. And we can go ahead and use Magic Crash as well, because this actually is going to do usually an armor break. Or right there you can see it just did an armor break, so that is actually going to increase your damage as well even further. Alright, so we can go ahead and cast again. And as you can see, not as much damage that time because his guard is definitely up. And we also want to make sure that all of our buffs are still going. Alright, here we go. Good, and now Bulliamus is dead. Alrighty everyone, that concludes the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions or comments, please go ahead and post them down in the comment section below, and I have indeed included my Discord in the description box if you want to just DM me or chat about anything. Again, if you are new to my channel, it would mean so much to me if you could go ahead and subscribe, and if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching again, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye now.